I would like to highlight the principles of transparency and best practice in scholarly publishing. Using this transparency, that we can see components that we would like to see from a journal website and their best practice. Okay, so the first point that we would like to see is the name of the journal. So we need to see either the name of the journal is easily confused with another journal. What about the journal origins, the scope, or any association with other journals and organizations? Sometimes there is a contradictions. For example, here a journal with word Canadian and Swiss in its name when neither the publisher, editor, nor any purported institutional affiliate relates whatsoever to Canada or Switzerland. So it's quite confusing the country of the origins in there. So what you need to do, you need to check the ISSN separate for print and electronic versions. So you can go to https://portal.issn.org. Some journals have absence of ISSN or confusing with ISBN for the books, or even fake ISSN. So you need to go to that portal and then we need to see this number and then check this out. Even the journals do not have DOI number or digital object identifier. So based on the Cabell list criteria is still fair, okay, if the journal being evaluated has a name similar to another journal but is able to be distinguished between the two. Okay, so you need even similar but we can be able to differentiate those. Still okay, still fair. The publisher published journals that are excessively broad. Example, Journal of Educations, in order to attract more articles and gain more revenues from author fees. So you need to be careful with the journals with the name are too broad, because here they mentions because they use the broad name to attract more articles and gain more revenue from author fees. Okay, so here's the first point, the name of the journal. Here, for example, in Google, you can see International Journal of Health Sciences. There are many the same or similar journals. So you can see 1, 2, 3, and then it's quite difficult to see, And if you check from the ISSN portal, so they actually provide you the links. So if you confused or difficult to find which one is the correct journal, so you just go to the ISSN portal and you check the name of the journal and then you can see the link of the website, so they go directly with the original website. Alright, and the second point, the second element is ownership and management. So when we see the website of the journal, we would like to know who is the publisher there, who is the owner, who is the sponsor, and who is the parent company, any affiliated institutions, are there any collaborations with the research society or professional organizations? Because sometimes for the predatory journals, they hide or obscures relationship with poor profit partners companies. This can be result in corporate manipulation of science. And even some predatories, they include links to legitimate conferences and association on their website, as if to borrow from other organizations legitimacy and emblazon the new publisher with the other's legacy value. So they try to claim that they are associated with a very good association or good conference, but actually they are not. So they try to claim falsely. So be careful with this kind of the journal publishers. Okay, the third point is about the websites. So you need to make sure that the journal website is really safe. So from the security aspects, at least they're using HTTPS protocol, not HTTP. This is based on DOWATCH, and the journal websites try not to attempt to download a virus or malware, so you need to be careful. Okay, and if you're looking at the website, whether the website is really look professional or not, we can see, even the design, even the development, the functionality. At least they're using company domain, not a free domain. Let's say using WordPress.com or something, or Weebly.com. Well, at least they use their own domain, right? And we can see no broken links, easy navigations, no missing information. So you need to check the website. Is it really convincing or not? Okay. And also excessive advertisement on its websites. You can see sometimes when you go to the journal website, you can see so many AdSense, right? So many advertisement. Is really not professional. For the OAG, it's not recommended, and they gonna like blacklist that kind of journals. Is it's not appropriate sometimes in the journal, which should be professional, but have so many advertisement. Therefore you need to have advertisement policy in the journal website. And the publisher journal website seems to focus on payment of fees. So in their homepage, they directly talking about the payment and the fees. And another point is the journal website does not allow web crawlers. Well, it's not good because the web crawling is really needed, especially for the open access journals, right? Or either the website copy from another journal publisher site content, design, or logo, because as we know, there are so many hijack or clone journals today. So journal hijacking refers to the brandjacking of a legitimate academic journal by a malicious third party. Typically, the imposter journal set as a fraud website for the purpose of offering scholars the opportunity to rapidly publish their research online for a fee. And the term hijack journal may refer to the fraudulent journals, also known as clone journals. So for the website also, whether they have spelling and grammatical errors and unauthorized use of image, illustration, and other academic works that are copyrighted. So sometimes you can see the figures, the image, they're really copyright or not, linked to a predatory conference or not. Even some new journal, they try to claim to be a leading publisher, but actually they just only the novice organization. So please be careful with that kind of website. Alright, the next component, the next principle is from editorial team and contact informations. From the contact information, that we would like to see whether there is sufficient contact information on the website. You see the contact, right? Are there phone numbers there? Are there emails? So based on copy, based on Jeffrey Bell as well, it's better to use the university emails or institutional emails, so not using Gmail or yahoo.com. But sometimes it's quite difficult, I understand, because in the university or in the institutional, they have limited numbers of receiving emails, so therefore that they go back to using gmail.com or yahoo.com. So this is kind of debatable in terms of the need, but yeah, it's better for me. It's better to combine both. Of course, we would like to use the institutional email, right? And you also need to check the address. Are they really a real address or a fake address or incorrect address? Even the location, we need to be able to really check on it. And are they using a physical editorial address or virtual office? Because so many right now, they just only using virtual office or physical, or hiding physical editorial address. Okay, this is for the contact informations. And for the editorial teams, we would like to see who is the editors there, and then who are the editorial board members and the advisory boards. Are they verifiable or not? So we need to be able to verify whether they are really there. Okay, so we need to be able to do that. And misrepresentation of the editorial board, you need to check. And unknown editors, the editors, we don't know them, so therefore the website should be, when they put someone's name, it's better to put the emails, the affiliations, the Orchid ID, the Scopus ID, Google Scholars. So it should be complete. So if everyone would like to check the editors or the board members, so it's verifiable. So this is the real one, not the fake one. Alright, so it should be updated as well. So sometimes the lists are too old, so sometimes when someone want to check the editorial board member, they don't know about it. So you need to check every 6 months or every year, so it depends on the journal. The fifth point is publishing schedule. So you need to be able to see in the website that the journal publishing frequency is clearly described or not, a regular issue or not, no missing issues, or too many special issues. If a journal there are missing issues, I believe that Scopus will not continue because the issues should be regular. Similar in the Web of Science as well. And if too many special issues, many journals right now, they are working on the conferences, they receive conference manuscripts and they make special issues, even they invite guest editors to make the proposals and then make special issues. So you need to be careful in that kind of journal behavior. There is nothing wrong with that, but if special issue is too many and the number of the receiving articles is higher than the last year, so you just need to be just a warning for you. Okay, that's just only the sign to see. So the journal must keep to its publishing schedule unless there are exceptional circumstances. So again, the journal need to be transparent, stay open. If they are missing issues, they need to be able to to mention. Let's say if they change the server, let's say if they change the publisher, so they can miss the issue and then continue for the next year, for example, because they are still in the progress of changing the server. So it's acceptable, right? And 6 for the archiving. Okay, so of course in the website we would like to see, if we publish an article to this journal, we need to make sure one day if the journal crashed, not working, stop working, our work still there, not gone, not disappear. Okay, so we would like to know how the website, how the journal can convince us for long-term digital preservation or electronic backup. Okay, let's say in the PMC, PubMed Central, or in the Keepers Registry, or in the Portico. So if you can see here, one of our journals in Journal Healthcare Administrations, we are using PKPPN. And 7th, the copyright components. So we would like to know the copyright terms used in this website, because the copyright of the website and copyrights of the contents is different. Okay, so they need to be able to differentiate. So the copyright of the website and the copyright of the articles, you can see for the example here, the copyrights belongs to the authors, even in its HTML or in the PDF. Okay, and not conflict each other between how to say the copyright of the website, because here example here in 2018 Journal of the Indonesian Mathematics Society, all rights reserved. So it means the authors do not have unrestricted rights, unrestricted copyrights. So because all belong to the journal, the copyright, so you need to check the copyright is belong to the authors or belong to the websites. Okay, of course when we would like to publish our work in open access journal, we want our works to be, the copyrights still belong to the authors. Okay, that's the thing that you would like to see, copyright holder belong to authors or the journal. And licensing is also related to the copyright, but it's different. Licensing is for the open access, so you mostly using Creative Commons license. So here, for example, in Balitung Nursing Journal, we are using Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial 4.0 International License. So that's the example. Should be, the copyright and the license should be should appear in HTML and in PDF. Okay, so you need to check their websites in a journal, in the PDF, in HTML, and the copyright notice for the authors and copyright for the website. So you need to be able to differentiate and to be able to check in each website. And here we are using Sherpa Romeo. This is for the self-deposit policy. Here you can see for the published versions, accepted versions, and submitted versions. So let's say for the submitted versions, we can do deposit to institutional repository or author's homepage, similar with the accepted versions with the license CC BY NC. But for the published versions, we can deposit to any website or any repository. Okay, so you need to be able to check copyright notice and even open access policy in each website. And 8th component is about access and author fees. So the website should be able to explain about this. Either they are using subscriptions, pay-per-view fees, or open access for readers. Sometimes the journal states that it's completely open access, but not all articles are openly available. Okay, and they also need to be able to state about open access fee for authors. They should put the details about article processing charge, page charge, editorial processing charge, language editing fees, color charge, submission fees, membership fees, or other supplementary charge. This should be clear in the websites. If there is no such fees, this should be also clearly stated. If waivers are available for authors' fees, this information should be stated clearly as well. Who is eligible for waiver, which authors of the group must be eligible for the waiver to apply, and when, how. Okay, author fees and waiver status should not influence editorial decision making, and this should be clearly stated. And here one of the things from the belllist.net, they said the article processing or publication charge is very low if it's lower than 150 US dollars. So this is debatable. If in Indonesia 150 US dollars quite high for students, so this is debatable. So again, sometimes it's quite confusing talking about the article processing charge. Sometimes it's quite high because it's $2,000, $1,000, $3,000, and here is quite small, 150. So what is in the middle for the article processing charge? Okay. Alright, 9th is about the business model. So in the website, they need to be able to differentiate between gold and green open access. If they are using gold open access, that as I mentioned earlier, so is paid by the authors, and green open access is like subscribe model. So they have the embargo period, so we cannot archive the articles in institutional repository until the embargo period finished. Okay, so the next thing, the website, you need to be able to explain about the business model. For example, reprint income, supplements, special issues, sponsorship, institutional support, and even organizational support should be clearly stated. And sometimes they do not mention about this kind of things, and it's also should be noted that sponsorships or special issues do not influence editorial decision makings. So here I said many journals or publishers give a business address in Western countries, but the majority of the authors are based in developing countries. So this is also related to the ownership and management, and related to the journal name. Okay, if they are really in Indonesia, you don't need to put the business address in the Western country if your authors is all Indonesians or all Filipinos, right? So check carefully, because otherwise it will be like something fishy. And here's the important one, publication ethics and integrity. So if journals really taking care about their best practice, they should have the policy related to the authorships, who will be the authors, and what kind of the contributions should be noted as authors, and how they handle complaints and appeals, and how they handle allegation of research misconducts. What about conflict of interest, data sharing and reproducibility, ethical oversight, intellectual property, post publications, and even correction and retraction policy. They should explain clearly in their website. Otherwise it's gonna be questionable. Okay. Another thing that we would like to see is about the email things. Sometimes some fishy journal or red flags journals, they are using the sentence manuscript are requested to be submitted via email. What? Via email? It's not really professional. Okay. And sometimes you get repeated emails from a publisher or journal for the invitation to submit your works in their websites, in their journals. And sometimes the journal is not out of scopes of your area of expertise, and they're sending emails many times. Even we ask to stop, but they do not stop. So it's amazing. And some journals, they also invite us to be editorial board members or even reviewers. And yeah, that's okay at some point, but sometimes they just invite many times. All right, so it's sometimes, I don't know how to say that. Also, many journals publish articles faster within 1 or 2 weeks, as long as the authors pay a certain amount of money or article processing charge.